Bernie would have saved us from the inevitable at this point now. Alien invasion, they're coming. Right now, this whole pandemic, everything going down as far as 2020 is concerned, is nothing but a graphically detailed and explicit reality show for the rest of the galaxy out there, all the alien inhabitants. Maybe I've been watching too much of The Mandalorian, which I'm waiting for season 2, of course. But why not think in that realm? Because the way this year's been going and how trashy it's been, how like filthy, dirty, and we're so ready for 2021 already having declared in 2019 that 2020 is going to be the year, 2020, clear vision, boom, 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 blah, blah, blah. Symbolism, conspiracy theories, all that shit too, taken into account. We're like Jersey Shore right now.
Just don't talk. Just don't talk. Yeah.
Who this?
Those demons inside you. Let them go. Before it's too late.
I'm dying.
No way! I can't believe this!
Oh no, man, come on. Oh no. Don't die on me. God damn it. Don't die. Fuzzy.
Somebody did this.
Something spectacular. Who this? That's me right here. Obviously, as you can tell by now, if you've been watching via YouTube, if you've been listening through all DSPs available to you, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, etc., wherever you get your audio format from, wherever you do yourself the favor of putting the cans on your head and downloading the podcast on your phone, on your laptop here, tablet, whatever you got available to you, and you get a hold of the podcast, and more specifically, it's something spectacular like this is right now. Thank you, by the way, first off. And second, you can find me again anywhere you get your audio version of your podcast from. Also, please remember that from now on, at least moving forward, majority of the episodes, not the whole thing, because, come on, it's going to take up too much time until I get a team together, someone that helps me put the video aspect together and all that shit too. Till further notice, we're going to be doing this thing as well with the YouTube channel, Who This Is, number 1 at the end. That's me. So again, something spectacular. Who this? That's me. Who's hearing out? Space! Because we all need space. Privacy. Intimacy time for our own selves to discover our bodies as we need to because we're still growing up or, I'm overgrown. But still, I'm discovering myself deep inside. Every day as it passes. Intelligent. Oh, by the way, that, me, embodiment. Intelligent. Speaking, of course, via the podcast. Video, audio, whatever. I try to get you covered in all aspects. Whichever realm I can occupy best and the most. But right now, enough of the funny stuff. Get that out of the way. Because I'm glad you're here with me today of all days. More specifically, this episode, because right now, this is going to cap. This is going to put the pretty little bow on top of what you've been led up to this point. There's been one, there was a second, a third, and of all things now, a fourth. The finale. To cap things off for this year's installment, this year's version of Halloween Havoc 2020, the audio miniseries brought to you by me. Me, I meant. Who this? Something spectacular. Halloween Havoc with a K 2020, the miniseries, bringing you the real things you need to fear throughout the year, throughout your life, and maybe even carry over into the afterlife so you can tell, depending where you go, heaven or hell, the angels or the sinners, or rotting away in eternity, for all eternity, with the devil, his big red-ass cheeks and his pitchfork, jabbing at you, for as long as you inhabit hell, just because, he knows you've been a jerk. That's why you ended up there in the first place. And he's a jerk also. He just lives to do that stuff. He's poking at you, jabbing at you. It's like, hey, let me get your attention. And you look at him like, what? What is it, Satan? What do you want now? You own me for the rest of life. What is it now? And he's like, hi, Like the thing from Stewie from Family Guy. Like, mommy, mama, hi, whatever. But to embody that, though, when you carry that into the afterlife, the fears that I've installed in you, now, courtesy of Halloween Havoc, you can't sleep anymore. Like me, almost. You got these bags under your eyes, inexplicably. But at least if your boss comes around asking you, I mean, well, maybe if you're in office, at work, on site, wherever, too, if they have to ask you, you look tired. Have I been overworking you? AKA, no such thing. You might as well be in dreamland, Kirby, because that doesn't happen. Your bosses don't take that much concern or care about you like that unless you're sleeping with them. It'd be nice, but my boss, at least I can speak for myself, you know what? I'm not going to dabble too much into that because I would honestly, if I had the chance. She's not bad looking. Thank God she's a female, first off. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It had to be a male. It had to be a silver fox. It had to look like a certain type of A-list male celebrity for me to even be like, cock. Old cock. White collar obviously makes more than me to even come down to my level, tricking around my corner. Cock. SVU, potential, I don't know who's going to believe me, as big and dumb as I am. If I take that in willingly, of course, I'd have to be a willing participant. I don't know. But here's the deal. I'm not doing that. And that'll be a whole nother episode in itself. But right now, Halloween Havoc, of all things to fear, funny enough, when it comes to bosses, when it comes to overseers, when it comes to heads of where you work, where you make your ends from, head of states. Oh, you know what? The president. I gave you something to fear in each one coming up to this episode. Number 1, number 2, number 3, but not number 4, the final one. This is the thing we need to fear the most, with the utmost sincerity, as far as you need to dedicate this fear solely to it and know that it's out there and it's real. Now listen, I did a couple episodes with I Am Mix 24. Shouts to him. That's my boy from way back when, college days, all that stuff too. Much love to him. And thank you for coming through for 2 episodes. One for Trumping the Left, as I titled it. And the other one was episode 1, installment number 1 of Halloween Havoc 2020. Nut Train. I Am Mix, of course, again. I Am Mix 24 on Twitter. Follow him. He might have his view on things as far as politics are concerned, but listen, it's of no real concern to be offended by him because he does present his side of the spectrum with facts, with news, and with a, comprehensive, a well-informed brain. It's not like he's just taking something from a site and throwing it up there and just passing it as fact. No, I know him. I can vouch for him. I wouldn't fuck with him. I wouldn't even promote or mention his name or ask for him to be on the program if I didn't trust him. As far as he's a reliable source. He's my political connect, my political analyst, et cetera, as I said before. But again, shout out to him. Well-deserved round of applause to him. That's I Am Mixed, though. He stands with Trump. He's the president right now, obviously. That's the country we live in. That's the state of whatever you dub it as, however you feel about Trump, that's fine. I have no feelings towards Trump personally. I would not have voted for Trump because I didn't vote for Trump in the last election. Then again, I wouldn't have voted for Hillary either. As he consented to as well, I am mixed. I'm not voting this time around because I choose not to, and that is my right. You go out there and vote if you choose to and feel the need to. I'm not going to say you're stupid for voting. You do your thing. Respect me enough to let me do mine is all I'm saying. So I kindly decline to vote. I'm not inspired or motivated enough to do so. But the whole point of Halloween Havoc, again, comes back around as it does in infinity loops and circles to this point right here. Who this? Would you have ever voted? And if so, for who? Well, I would have gone proudly with a man right behind me, enough so I could feel that goddamn burn that he promised had we nominated him first, had we voted him in second. And then third, had we actually let him do inauguration speech, that would have blown our fucking minds and changed the world while we're at it. I mean Bernie Sanders. If you see the visual version of the podcast, I appreciate you, by the way. Again, youtube.com/whothisis1. You'll see who I'm referring to behind me. Enough so I can feel the burn. That's who I would have voted for. That's who I would vote for if God permit he's still alive for another presidential election if we make it to 2024. I mean, what? We're like some days removed from the upcoming presidential election of 2020. November 3rd, I think the day is officially. I don't concern myself with politics, but I will say this. The biggest thing you need to fear, and I hate to make it political, I hate to position myself in that matter to make it seem as like I'm telling you who you should have or who we should have gone for or denouncing Trump or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just giving you my 2 cents solely based off fear. That's the point of Halloween Havoc. We will feel the burn of not having consented to feeling the burn, BERN, courtesy of Bernie Sanders. This is why I still have some sort of appreciation for Brooklyn. As much as I denounce the fame, throw dirt on the name of Brooklyn itself, it's more so the vibes. It's not there anymore, the essence of the feeling of, or like that old saying goes, like you can take the kid out the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out the kid, and et cetera, however you want to apply that rhetoric. That's what I'm talking about. Because Brooklyn in itself, the embodiment of the vibes, per se, isn't there anymore if you go to Brooklyn. At least I can speak on behalf of Williamsburg, which has become Ohio Junior, Minnesota Junior practically. Breadbasket of Brooklyn, of middle America, right in the dirty borough of Brooklyn, Kings County, of course. It's gone. It's been taken over. It's a whole another planet. It's no man's land out there right now. You got good friend to the show, AO Productions, of course, turned into IPA man of all things, hunting, trying to sniff out, bad tattoos and fucking IPA beers that guzzle down while he fucking solely cries himself after getting a bad tattoo on his ankle, on his, pinky nail or wherever else he's thinking of getting him to. Angel, I appreciate you. I love you like family, but goddamn it, stop it. These fucking bad tattoos. That should have been an episode of itself, really poorly chosen tattoos, but I'll leave that alone as much as I can, as best I can. I have respect. I won't go in like that because, I already offended your cats, as you told me yourself, so fuck them, by the way, still. Those hairy fucks blew my neck up, blew my eyes, my ears up with the allergies that kicked in after so many years have been dormant, but of course, hairy fucking massa-filled ass cats, they did me dirty. And of course, they're from Brooklyn, so they got those dirty dust germ particles that malinger in the air in Brooklyn. So if you walk through, it's like, I might as well be walking through like a bee's nest or something, or like a bee's hive, whatever you call that thing. But you know what I'm talking about. Gonna get nothing but, all over the place. It's stung. It's nasty. Bernie would have been the pick. Selfishly, he would have been the proper one because imagine the debates. Who the fuck is Biden to debate Trump? He's trying his best inside of him not to get angry, not to get triggered, not to fall into the trap of Trump, where he baits him. He reels him in as far as how easy of a target and prey that Biden is. Maybe he's tougher than he seems, or he's wittier than he seems. He got some points off on the first debate, during the first debate with that cuck Mike Wallace, barely doing the job of like, hey guys, stop, or whatever he was doing. Or whatever he was trying to do, But Biden got off on that just because it was 2 versus 1. 2-on-1, as IMX did point out. And I did see some of it, so yeah, I saw where he was coming from with it. Trump easily won the second one because got under Biden's skin, shot after shot. No subliminals, which you got to give him some credit for that. There was the bar he dropped as far as Biden saying, I don't even know where he's from. And then, of course, he says, as arrogantly, as smug as he could, Queens, where he's from, of course. I don't like to own up to Trump being from Queens so much. He just so happens to be, I like to say, referred to as more properly, but it's there too. I had to applaud that. I'm sorry. I'm not condoning, I'm not supporting, I'm not applauding or, licking his ball sack as far as Trump is concerned. But I got to give him points for that. It's Queens at the end of the day, but this is why I wanted Bernie there. First reason, selfishly enough. Bernie would have gave him the debate of a lifetime because, like IMX pointed out, Bernie's more sympathetic. He easily reminds people of Larry David. Look, sound, voice, energy-wise, without, cursing, obviously, because he can't run around saying, fuck Trump, he's a piece of shit. Fuck Donald Trump, he's from the pussy part of Queens that even they won't take him in or own up to him being a Queens native. I, on the other hand, am from Brooklyn, have always been from Brooklyn, have Brooklyn deeply embodied into my genetic DNA coding. So here I am, a.k.a. the realer candidate. Why are you not voting for me to be the representative of the Democratic Party? We failed him. That's the sad part. So this poster right here, you only get a hold of, or if anybody else has it, you only got from his party by donating to his cause, to his campaign, which I did. I'll own up to that. That's the only way to get a hold of that poster, which is nothing special or fancy. A concert he did with, a concert he showed up for in support of Public Enemy, showing their support towards him back in March before, pandemic took all over the world. It's a cool poster. Another selfish reason. There's the whole thing about how he fucked himself over with a lauding or showing praise towards Castro and trying to make him seem simpatico to what he was doing, at least for his people. Because there's that whole thing, too, about I think, flew in doctors for I forget what from Cuba because they were highly coveted and sought out for as far as their expertise, their knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. However true that is, I have heard that. This is, again, what I've heard, what I've read, and what I've been told by a Cuban or two. There is that. The people, a lot of them are educated or can be educated, but, they still drive cars that are no older or no newer than 1950 big body Chevys that they have to keep fixing up to even keep running because, there is such a thing as traveling from point A to point B, and of all places, Cuba, which might be allegedly still the home of Tupac if he's alive. As however you want to see it, and whether you believe it or not, I choose to be part of the crowd that believes, maybe, just maybe, Tupac is alive in Cuba, along with his mama, and ashes to ashes, dust to dust. R.I.P. if they really are dead. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're faking anything. I'm not accusing nobody of nothing of that sorts. But, ashes are easy to, falsify, per se. Or just say, hey, this person got cremated. Here are their ashes. How are you going to prove it? I can't, so probably you can't either. But that's besides the point, though. I know that's where he probably most likely bit his bullet, per se, Bernie, with the praising Castro's approach to education and providing for the people. There's the population of Cubans that is split as far as I know Florida is concerned, the ones that are for Castro, the ones that are against Castro, clearly. That's, unfortunately, what did him in. I know that. There was no way recouping from that. I get that. I understand that. Realistically, had he not made that faux pas, had they not, I said, like Bernie right there. See, I sympathize so much with him. I hit you with a faux pas, like only Bernie would have, that Brooklyn faux pas. But yeah, had he not committed that, I think he would have still been in the running. But now we're fucked, all entirely. Because you know what point is right here? Bernie as president. I can imagine it. I can visualize it. I can see it. I would have loved to have seen it firsthand, but that's not happening. Again, unless he goes for it again in 2024, which I forget offhand how old Bernie is right now. I think he's older than Larry David or around that same age range, and Larry's like 70-ish, early 70s, I think, which is like saying, oh, early 70s. That's like saying, oh, I only took half a big black cock up my ass I couldn't take the whole thing in, but I tried at least, or it's still good enough, right? No, you still failed. You're still too old to do anything that matters anymore. So Bernie's written off completely. But had he won, had he been nominated first, had he won second, had he been able to do a speech of America, I'm here as your president to save you from the 4 years of carnage that you have endured courtesy of Donald Trump. Trump. But again, I must emphasize now, as of today, being sworn in as your president, we are dumping the Trump. We have trumped the dump. And something like that, big round of applause. A lot of people might have came to their senses eventually as far as the racists that came out of the woodworks and out of hiding because of Trump now, and probably would have been back to normal, or at least toned back on the stupid, and maybe seeing Bernie's points as far as I think utopia ideally, there's the whole thing about him, he would have been a socialist or potentially a communist with leaning towards either or. I didn't see that, to be honest. He won me over, not because I was a fanatic or hopping on the nuts, or because he's a New Yorker from Brooklyn, whatever. But wait, shouldn't you be proud of Trump because he's from Queens? No, because I knew about Trump already. I was never a fan of his from The Apprentice, from the early 90s when he was really famous, from the 80s too when he was famous too as well. Never been a fan of him.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? That's just not the case.
Bernie would have saved us from the inevitable at this point now. Alien invasion, they're coming. Right now, this whole pandemic, everything going down as far as 2020 is concerned, is nothing but a graphically detailed and explicit reality show for the rest of the galaxy out there, all the alien inhabitants. Maybe I've been watching too much of The Mandalorian, which I'm waiting for season 2, of course. But why not think in that realm? Because the way this year's been going and how trashy it's been, how filthy, dirty, and we're so ready for 2021 already having declared in 2019 that 2020 is going to be the year, 2020, clear vision, boom, 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 blah, 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 symbolism, conspiracy theories, all that shit too, taken into account. We're like Jersey Shore right now, in the best seasons of Jersey Shore for the aliens right now. There's going to be a point like how Jersey Shore got too tacky and too dirty, too trashy, where you got the situation in rehab afterwards. JWoww's barely Italian, if any at all, if her blood is Italian. The one Italian pure blood, I think, on the show, that was Vinny. He's the boring one out of the whole bunch. Somehow he's still got to work with MTV after the fact and all this shit too. So it's really hard to hate Vinny, but it's what did he really do? What did he ever really say or become of to really matter after that too? But he's a good kid, shout outs to him, I guess. But he was of the whole crew, he was the who cared for him at all? Snooki, we knew she wasn't Italian at all. She was just raised by Italian folks. I think halfway through the series, she was at WrestleMania. That was embarrassing. She got a life straightened out. She lost some weight. She still doesn't look good, but she has some kids. God bless her, with a guy that loves her, apparently. So she did good for herself, too, as well. Ronnie was Puerto Rican. Sammy was still a dummy on and off the show. So it all went to shit. Nothing good came of it, I think, except for Paulie. He was a DJ already, and now he's still DJing and doing his thing. So he was the one I liked the most, honestly, out of everybody there. So God bless him. He made something of it, took the fame, ran with it, and still doing good for himself, as I believe he's doing so. So God bless him. But what happened to the show? The show got too tacky. They even brought it back now. I haven't dared to watch it now because I'm scared to think, what are they going to try to do from 10 years ago that they couldn't get away with on TV? Like women getting hit and being used at objects for sex, better yet said. They can't do that now. It'll be immediately canceled. And I haven't kept up, to be honest, so I don't know where it's at right now. But at its trashiest is where we knew, and there was a story once of an SAT question, I forget which year, had a question relating to Jersey Shore. I forget what the question was, but it was there. And people were upset because these are SAT fanatical students ready to take their lives seriously go on to someplace serious as far as respected institutions and such, and they're getting asked about Jersey Shore, how big are Snooki's tits, or how loose are her pussy lips compared to the ratio of, the circumference of this fucking circle, hemisphereing around your asshole. I don't know. But something like that. So I'd be offended if I was one of those students. I don't see why not. But to the aliens, we're like Jersey Shore at the very tip of being trashy, at the very tip of being like, okay, someone's got to pull the plug on this shit. They're going to invade. They're going to come down and fuck us all up. Or if anything, primarily first objective of theirs is going to be what? This thing right here. Right up our ass. And I don't even mean proverbially as far as what America's been getting as of right now with this year, with this fucking pandemic and everything going on. I mean, they're ready to not even lube up. They're not even going to spit on the tip of their finger and shove it right in. No. Dry, no happy birthday, length of song, washing your hands, amount of time for, straight out of their fucking pockets after they've been like scratching their ass like 5 minutes before that, right up our asshole. We're getting probed. We're getting probed deep. And guess what? Bernie would have saved us in the sense of, had the aliens, pandemic and everything going on too, had the aliens touched down and said with their big fat mushroom tip fingers pointing at whoever's the first human to not get vaporized, hopefully, on sight at least. But the one who gets pointed at and asked, take me to your leader. Sorry, told, take me to your leader. And then that person, male, female, it, he, her, Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner, I don't know at this point no more, whatever you identify as, points their finger at President Sanders. Oh, Bernie's going to jump on top of shit. He's going to be ready. He might not be so Brooklyn that he's strapped or pulling out the toolie or, trying to offer them a glizzy or whatever, nothing. No, but he might just be ready enough to take to the fucking podium, the mic in front of him, and be like, my fellow Americans, I have been informed that we have been officially invaded by aliens. And I don't mean the illegals, as Donald Trump would have said. I mean legit, for real, dead-ass aliens. I'm not talking about the invasion of Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I'm talking about legit E.T. ready to probe us all. But as your leader of the greatest nation on this planet, I will be the one to be giving up my own asshole to the aliens so they see that Commander-in-Chief as I am now, as you have voted me in to be so, I will sacrifice myself so that they see as clean as my anus is as clean a streak as America has had since we have dumped the Trump. God bless America. I'll see you in about an hour or so. I'm old, I'm grizzled, I'm a veteran. Perhaps they don't have that much fun with mine as they probably should, I would hope. I barely get any these days if I'm lucky. I'm old. My ticker barely has any battery life left in it per se. But let's hope it doesn't take too long, and I hope whoever does the probing doesn't get too handsy and actually uses a tool that has been sanitized and also hopefully lubed up. I would envision that. Big ass round of applause. The world's crying for Bernie. I mean, every nation comes together. They can fucking throw England back in the whatever the fuck they got going up in Union. Was it the European Union, whatever, with the whole Brexit bullshit? Okay. They willingly join back in with Europe. He brings a lot of Europe back together, gels it back together for the sake of Bernie's asshole being our saving grace from the motherfucking aliens. Because, there's the robots, too. They might just take an uprise, my fucking Google thing over there or your Alexa over there might just sprout legs all of a sudden and try to initially defend us. And then if they even, stand a chance against the aliens, then who's going to stop them from coming after us for, letting the aliens come in and try to take over whatever. But then there's the whole thing with aliens. They probably got advanced technology. They got nanobots or something, or simple enough magnets to fuck up the robot's brain, stick them all together, get rid of them on sight, make light work of them. So then where do we stand, right? And then they'll get mad at us anyway for being like, oh, you let your robots take over and try to embody us, but we bodied them. So now who's getting probed first? Line up as I strap up. Get me a latex. Oh, wait, my tip's too big. It can't fit. Never mind. Going in raw dog. Ha, ha, ha. Boo, boo, ba, ba, ba. Or whatever the aliens say to speak to each other. Bernie would have stopped all that dead in his tracks. He would have gave up his ass willingly and literally for us. We'd be too busy applauding day and night for that man. We would have been doing what they was doing for the frontline workers here, 7 p.m. at night in New York City, you know, clanging pots and whatever too, for the sake of Bernie's ass. Bernie's ass. Bernie's ass. Bernie's ass. Bernie's ass. Day and night, in and out. He would have been written up in the history books. He would have been heralded for, you know what? I think he would have been, in the right sense, he would have been voted in the second time. We would have gave him the third one too and said, you know what? Fuck it. King Bernie. King Bernie's ass. And the statue would have been made out of gold, fuck bronze, strictly for Bernie. But then we would have stuck a diamond in there. And you guessed it. Exactly. The diamond would have gone right on Golden Bernie's statue's asshole. Right there. Well deserved. Well merited. A fucking hero. Bernie Sanders. He could have saved us. The aliens come, mark my words. If Trump is still in office, he's going to deny. I'm not hating on Trump. I'm not denouncing him. I'm not picking on him. But I am saying I think what might be looked at as the truth. Trump ain't doing shit but running and scurrying once the aliens touch down. Bernie, on the other hand, as old, as fragile as you want to deem him, he would have been like, square up, you alien fucks. I'm going to blast you like we did Hiroshima to make the world know we're not ones to be fucked with. Wu-Tang up in this bitch. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with. Bernie ain't nothing to go raw dog on or in. Pause. It would have been... and then imagine, he would have had... I don't know if he would have had Kamala Harris, who, my opinion, I mean, every time she's on my TV screen. Nice. Imagine he would have had his actual legit distant cousin, Larry David, as VP. Oh, imagine the fucking debates. Who's going to debate them both? Who wants to go with Bernie because they actually like him? He can speak his piece. He can, like, you know, hold a convo as an adult should with other adults and not even argue, get into it like that too. And then who's going to argue with Larry Davis VP? He's going to fucking, you know, vent on everything possible. No one's going to even want to go to the conventions, debates, whatever, too, against them because they're not going to want to deal with Larry David. But then again, I mean, I'm saying, and then again, who doesn't love Seinfeld almost? It's hard to find somebody who hates Seinfeld unless they're like a Friends junkie or, you know, a dummy. I'm sorry. Friends didn't do it for me besides a young Jennifer Aniston. But nope, scratch that actually. No. Young Courtney Cox. Ooh, boy. And the applause sounds like... Let me not say that, though. But yeah, I was going to say, like, my nutsack slapping my thighs when I was old enough to realize, ooh, Monica, huh? Courtney Cox, huh? And when I'm done laughing at Cox, you know, fun times. It's nice. By the way, Borat 2 is hilarious on Amazon Prime. Watch that. Don't be a pussy. Don't be like, you know, oh, cancel him because he's offensive or he tried to set up Rudy Giuliani. Just relax. It's a fucking good movie. It's a funny movie. It might not be as enchanting or as delightful as Borat 1 was, but Borat 2, though, I applaud it. Something spectacular. The finale of this year's installment version of Halloween Havoc 2020. Burned. B-E-R-N-D. Wait. B-E-R-N-E-D. Burned. Because we don't got Bernie to save us. So the aliens, when they come down, the probe us all ready. We're unwilling, but they're able to do whatever they got to because they got the advanced technology, and they're going to fucking hold us. They're going to cancel out our gravitational forces from underneath our feet, so we're going to be like suspended in air until we like say, hey, all right, already, fine, just stick it up my ass, just get out of my face already, or whatever, get it over with and stuff. I'm just telling you, Bernie would have gave his ass up, literally and figuratively speaking. Trump would have scurried away. I'm sorry. He is from Queens. I get it. Bernie's from Brooklyn. I don't represent Brooklyn. I'm saying I regret that Bernie won't be able to use his Brooklynness, old Brooklynness, to save us all in that case. Something spectacular, Halloween Havoc, though. That's the end of that. I'll be back with more soon enough of Something Spectacular, the podcast, the show, the entity, the presence. Who this? That's me. Who this .is on Instagram. Who this on Twitter. Who this is 1 on YouTube. That's a channel where you get the video version of the podcast as well. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in and listening. Mountain View, California, listen. If you got connects with Google's, I'm trying to see who I got to talk to get in Google's good side and see where we can go with this thing and get Halloween Havoc 2021 bigger than I would have ever planned it to be. That's a whole year from now, but still, I'm trying to do big things and make it really matter. Bernie, I'm sorry, man. I would have voted for your dog, but it's all right. Maybe in the next life or the next planet. Who knows where we're going in this case. The route we're on right now, the road we're on right now, who knows. Something Spectacular on all DSPs as well, too, with the audio format of the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast from, I'm there. Just look up Something Spictacular. That's me. Who this? Thanks to everybody who's been involved with Halloween Havoc, who has gotten back to me and said, what the fuck? Up until this point, thanks to I Am Mix for being on the first installment of Halloween Havoc as well, too. We got more for next year. I got shit planned for Thanksgiving, Christmas as well. Best believe I do. So I'll be back soon enough. Thank you, who this? BERN-ED!
¿Qué le pasa a este hombre ahora, viejo? What's wrong?
Maybe in the next lifetime, America.
Yo, it's over. All right, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
Thank you.
All right.